Here's the thing. 4 guys murdered my wife.
Akya. I call it STEM. A computer chip that has the potential to change everything.
Today I'm going to explain an action thriller movie called Upgrade. Spoilers ahead. Watch out and take care. The movie is set in a disappointing future where machines have seamlessly integrated with everyone aspects of human life. The world depends almost entirely on technology to even perform the easiest job. But our hero, Grey Tracy, stands out and someone who didn't quite make it, embrace the technology revolution and still work as a traditional mechanic. He is married to Asha, who works for Cobalt, a larger technology company that specialized in human augmentation. One evening, after finishing a car repair job, Grey asks Asha accompany him wholly while he makes his delivery. The car belongs to his client because he has to use his self-driving car on the way back home. Asha is not interested as she has other things to do, but she somehow convinces him to come alone. After some time, the couple reached a distant place with 2 large stones. Near the sea, they then descend towards it and eventually arrive at a hidden luxury facility. Inside there, they meet Gray's client, Ion, who turns out to be a tech genius and billionaire. Asha is thrilled to see him and reveals that she is a huge fan of this work. However, Iron greets her awkwardly and admits that she lacks social skills as she rarely leaves this place. Afterward, Iron shows the couple his lastly invention, a microchip called a STEM. He reveals that this small device is capable of performing any task better than a human and has the power to change the world. It surpasses Asha, but Grey remains unfazed and refuses to believe that this will benefit humans. Instead, it emphasizes how harmful it can be and can lead to unemployment crisis. Later on the way home, Grey complains about these advances, fearing that they will making people like him useless. However, Asha asks him not to be rude to Iron, Grey's last paying customer. He then tries to get close with her. Self-driving cars take them home. But when their romantic moment ends, Grey notices that the car is going in the other direction. The couple ordered it to reroute and even tried to hit the brakes, but the car ignored the orders. After a holy, they reach a crime-ridden neighborhood where the car crashes and happens an accident. 4 men then came and dragged the couple from the car. Meanwhile, a police drone is seen recording the incident. Grey begs for mercy and even offers money, but a man named Fricks started laughing. He then approaches Asha and says that he hates the privileged people like him before they shoot him in the chest. Grey tries to fight back, but Fricks shoots him too, completely paralyzing him. After that, the those leave. Only Grey helplessly watches his wife die before his eyes. The scene then cuts to 3 months later, where Grey is still paralyzed in the hospital. His mother comes to take him home in a wheelchair, and new machines were installed at home to help him. However, Grey is deeply troubled by his wife's death and struggles to move on. He and his mother later go to the police station, where they meet Detective Cortez. Grey inquires about wife killer, but Cortez reveals that there has no progress. The lawsuit angers Grey, who criticizes how the technology can read human dental feelings but still cannot track down and a group of gangsters. However, Cortez reveals that the criminals have discovered a way to build a firewall around the system, making them impossible to detect. One day, Holy Gay is home alone. He tries to save himself from the drug overdose. He soon leaves, but the home's automated system detected the situation and issues a summons after the ambulance. We see Grey in the hospital, and Iron comes to see him, feels sorry for him, Grey's condition, and suggests that he has a STEM microchip implanted in his body, which will allow he will walk again. Iron explains that he has to surgery and it must be hidden from the authorities. A distraught Grey says he doesn't want to start his life over and rather it will end. However, Iron advised him to consider what Asha wanted he does. Hearing this, Grey fell into deep thought and finally agreed to the procedure. In the next scene, we see Gray at Iron's facility, where some doctors are implanting the chip. When he was done with the procedure, he was shocked to see his limbs and hands moving naturally. Iron is delicate with the results and asks her to sign a non-disclosure agreement. Gray obeys without hesitation and even agrees to continue pretending to be paralyzed. Back at the house, Gray finds a parcel from Detective Cortez containing related evidence. His case appears to be drone footage of his wife's death. After watching the video, Gray feels anxious and sips a glass of alcohol. After a while, he suddenly heard a voice. The voice to him introduced himself as Steam, which shocks our hero. He thinks he's gone crazy, but Steam assures him that he is not. The AI also explains that Gray is the only person who can hear the voice as it communicates through vibration to his eardrum. Next, Steam picks up some strange details in the drone footage. The attackers appear he didn't have a gun and shoot Asha with an extended hand. Also notice a tattoo on one of Steam's men's sports, which turned out to be a military barcode. Then the AI scans barcode and initially identifies the culprit, who turns out to be a Marine named Shark Brentner. Gray decides to tell Cortez about this, but Steam convinces him not to call him, arguing that tattoos alone are insufficient evidence. Instead, AI suggests that Gray go to Syracuse personally to discover the truth. In the next scene, Gray arrives at Stark's address and breaks into his house. He sees a laptop, reads the table and its message, but finds useful information other than repeated reference, a local bar called Old Bones. He also discovered evidence that the man was cybernetically upgraded, implants and bionic assassin. Moments later, Shark comes in and Gray quickly hides in a corner. Unfortunately for him, the man notices his presence and starts attacking him. Gray tries to find answer about his wife's death, but Shark continues to beat him mercilessly. Just when Gray seems to be beating the dust, he summons Steam for help. This is the request. The AI takes control of his body and kills Shark horribly. Later, Gray has been given back control of his body and is horrified by what he has done. He vomited inside scene, but the truthless AI argues him to erase his mark before the police show up. Later, a medical examiner and Detective Cortez inspect Shark's body at the morgue. They discover a largest number of implants, including a war barrel embedded in his left hand. The examiner then revealed that they had found traces of an old machine, weld shoes in the circuit. This shocks the detective and he assumes it must be the work of a mechanic. In another sense, Gray arrives at Iron's house for a routine checkup, but the letter appears to be the letter. Very angry, he informs Gray that he has been tracking his movements and discovers that he is killed a man today. Iron accuses him of abusing the technology and reminds him non-disclosure agreement. In response, Gray scolds him for not revealing what Steam can do, actually talk to people. This surprises Iron and he simply advises Gray to use the AI with caution. Manuel Cortez reviews the drone footage outside Shark's house and is shocked. Gray in a wheelchair. He later visits her and informs her of Shark's death. Notice that the man was a suspect in his wife's murder. He then questions why he was seen outside Shark's house. The time of murder is near. Gray explained that he was trying to help with the investigation, but he actually did nothing because he was physically disabled. Surprisingly, the detective buys her story and leaves without further questions. Later, Gray decides to visit Old Bones bar, which Syracuse frequents. He shows he got into his wheelchair and quickly attracted everyone's attention. Gray reveals that his wife was murdered a few months ago and he is appealing for anyone with information to come forward. He also mentioned that a man named Shark was involved in the murder, but he is now dead. Hearing this, the man named Tolan approaches Gray and takes him to the restroom with his friends. When they arrive, Tolan pushes Gray out of his chair and holds him at knife point. However, the latter claims that he only wants to know who is responsible for his wife's murder. He then asks Tolan had been there that evening, and the man proudly confirmed it. Hearing this, Gray immediately tells Steam to take control and begins attacking the thug in the room. After knocking everyone out, he pins Tulan to the ground and begins slashing his face until he finally agreed to talk. Tulan admits that a man named Fisk ordered them to kill Gray's wife. At this point, Steam warns Gray that Iron is trying to manually shut him down, which is paralyzing him again. The AI leads and delivers him to a nearby hacker named Jamie. While Gray is referring to his address, Tulan succumbs to his injury and dies. Gray then left his wheelchair outside the bar and started running towards him. Jamie's building along the way. Steam begins to lose control of his body, makes him very weak. Meanwhile, at the bar, Fisk and his friend find the murderer, Tulan. Fisk then scans the dead man's pupils and learns about the culprit. Soon Gray arrives at Jamie's apartment and asks him to remove Steam's input guard. It turns out input guards are pieces of programming that prevent the AI from acting autonomously. Even with the guard removed, Iron is unable to remotely shut down the steam Jamie removed successfully. Input guard but reveals that it will take some time to restart the system. Just then, he noticed Fisk accomplice break into his apartment via surveillance cameras and decides to run away. Moments later, the bad guys come to capture Gray and at the same time Iron's safety. The team also shows. It runs out that our hero is going to meet his wife in heaven, but his team takes back control just in time. This allowed Gray to get back to his feet and run towards the roof. Hangman begins to follow him, while Fisk stays behind by Iron's security team. On the elevator roof, Hangman attacks Gary, leading to a fresh fight between the two. But Gary eventually blows the man's head off with his own bionic arm gun and manages to escape. In the next scene, Gray returns home covered in blood and his mother is shocked to see him. Walking, she finally tells him the truth about Steam and asks him to keep it a scare. Detective Cortez also arrives at the house soon after, claiming to have found Gray's wheelchair bar where several people were killed. She asks what happened, to which he lies that he followed, but some were beaten and tortured. Luckily, he managed to escape in a taxi and back home. Cortez pretends to believe her story but deep down to know something. Up therefore, he secretly slips an audio transmitter into his coat pocket before leaving. Later, a stressed Gray says he wants to stop killing them, but Steam insists to killing Fisk. It reveals that it has found Fisk's address and they can go there to finish him off now. Gray refuses, but the AI explains that it isn't and he needs permission to operate on his body. Remove the input guard that turns it out. Not only did Steam separate from Iron but also gave it autonomy, allowing it to do whatever it wanted. Steam justifies his action by saying that if they do not act, Fisk will eventually kill the victim. With no other option, Gray reluctantly agrees to AI's plan and leaves home. Meanwhile, Detective Cortez also overhears the conversation and decides to follow him. After driving for a while, Gray discovers and notices the listening device in his pocket. Cortez follows him. Steam tries to hack his car but fails because it is mechanical. However, it successfully hacks into one of the electronic cars on the highway and crashes it. Detectives say this leads to a minor accident, which allowed Gray to get away. Afterwards, a wounded Cortez goes to Gray's house and confronts his mother about his actions. Meanwhile, Gray finally arrives at Fisk's apartment and holds him at gunpoint. The latter calmly replies, revealing that they are actually targeting Gray, not Hope. He admits to himself that he did not shoot Gray with a real bullet that night. It was right, something to paralyze him. He then argues him to embrace these new parts and join their cause. However, Gray is only concerned with getting his revenge and attacks Fisk. Then the two a fierce fight ensues and it is revealed that Fisk's powers are much stronger than Gray's. Gray is about to kill when Steam suddenly delivers vital information, revealing that Sark actually Fisk's brother. Hearing this, Gray scolds Fisk about how he killed his brother, his mouth open. The revelation makes Fisk emotional and Gray seizes the moment to attack. He then ends up killing the villain by smashing his head against some glasses. Later, he scans Fisk's phone and finds a shocking voicemail from Iron, instructing him to kill Gray. In the following scenes, Gray arrives at Iron's lab and accuses him to intentionally maiming him and kill his wife for his test. He tries to shoot Iron, but just then Cortez arrives and holds him at gunpoint. The two then Quirrell and Grey pleads not to steam, to harm intelligence. But when he realizes the AI isn't stopping, he convinces Cortez to use his stun gun on him. The plan works and the effect is so temporary, stop Steam. Afterwards, Iron admits to Grey that it was actually Steam who planned everything and convinces him to comply. Steam shot a host body and chose Grey as its carrier because he had no implants or chips, which are rare in this world. The AI caused the accident and sent thugs to paralyze Grey. Iron reveals that Steam's ultimate goal is to kill so that he cannot make any more microchips. Then she explained tearfully, he was not in control of the company and was only taking instruction from the AI. At this point, Steam regains control of Grey and brutally kills Aaron by stabbing him. It then prepares to finish it off Cortez, but Grey suddenly points the gun at his own neck. The scene then cuts to a hospital where Grey wakes up and finds himself doing his movies. Naturally, the body. Moments later, Asha enters the ward and explains that they were inside an accident and he was unconscious for days. Grey finds it hard to believe, but despite her confusion, they share a kiss. Just then, the scene cuts back to Iron's house, where Cortez orders Grey to put down the gun. However, Steam reveals that there is no more Grey. It explains his consciousness now trapped in virtual reality, where he is happy in a fictional world with his wife. Steam also revealing that Grey only needed to break his mind to lock him in his subconscious. It allows him to control his body. After saying this, Steam coldly shoots Cortez to death and erases the marks to knives and guns. As the movie ends, the AI then goes berserk as we see Grey kissing his wife in the imaginary world. If you like this movie, please subscribe and follow us. If you want more recap, comment below here. Thanks.